The crows are flying over again. Headed from the forests to the city in big groups. You can tell what time of year it is based on how the crows act. Good morning. In the springtime, they're in small groups, pairs. Ah, perfect. They're in mating pairs, and sometimes the children from the previous year are with them. And then, as fall comes, as the summer ends, the crows come together in bigger and bigger groups. And then in the winter, they meet in the mountains, in huge nations. It's like tribal nations. All the families come together. When I was a kid, I lived at the edge of the mountain forests back behind me. And in the evening, the sky would be covered with crows going rah, 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 rah. Crows are amazing. It's interesting, all these crows are coming this way, but a few seagulls fly this way. So I'm still reading from the Pocket Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a chapter or a section on inferiority. Inferiority, superiority, even equality. They're all notions. Dualistic discrimination. I heard this one saying from a Zen monk who lives in Aberdeen, which is like an hour from here. It's where Kurt Cobain is from, of the band Nirvana. But he told me there's this saying, each one is best. I love it. It stuck with me. We drop notions and we drop comparison. We realize each one is best. We're all strong in our own unique ways. And we're all weak in our own unique ways. Together, as a Buddha family, a Sangha, we support each other. Where I'm strong, you're weak. Where you're weak, I'm strong. It's like the crows. They thrive because they come together. Good morning. So now I'm going to read. Many people have the idea that they are not good at anything, that they are not able to be as successful as other people. They cannot be happy. They envy the accomplishments and social standing of others, while regarding themselves as failures, if they do not have the same level of worldly success. We have to try to help those who feel this way. We must come to them and say, you should not have an inferiority complex. I see in you some very good seeds that can be developed and make you into a great person. If you look more deeply within and get in touch with those wholesome seeds in you, you will be able to overcome your feelings of unworthiness and manifest your true nature. This is mudita. It's one of the dwelling places of God, the Brahma Viharas. We have love, which is hello. Love, we want to see other beings thrive. We want to see other beings be happy. We know all beings want to live. All beings want to be happy. So we wish and we act in order to help other beings be happy. This is love. Then we have compassion. We see beings suffering. We don't want those beings to suffer. So love wants beings to thrive. Compassion wants to remove suffering. And then there's mudita, which is what we're talking about here. When we see others succeed, we are happy. We're not jealous. When we see other beings happy, we're happy. It sounds simple. It's not easy though. Thank you, Dawn. It's good to see you. Until we have this sympathetic joy, this mudita, being around successful people is painful. We'll be jealous. But when we have mudita, when we have this joy at others' success, then we naturally gravitate toward and bring happy, successful people around us. It's an interesting thing. The last is equanimity. We spread our loving attention equally across the whole mind system. Those are the 4 dwelling places of God, or Brahma. The Chinese teacher, Master Guaishan, writes, "We should not look down on ourselves. We should not see ourselves as worthless and always withdraw into the background. Let our strength shine. Let our brightness be bright." These words are designed to wake us up. In modern society, psychotherapists report that many people suffer from low self-esteem. They feel that they are worthless and have nothing to offer. And many of them sink into depression and can no longer function well or take care of themselves or their families. This makes me think, when I'm talking to my Buddha gang, I always say that we are all students and teachers. Sometimes I play teacher, sometimes I play student. This is how a community of good friends, Kalyana Mitras, operates. Therapists, healers, caregivers, teachers, religious leaders, and those who are close to someone who suffers in this way all have the duty to help them see their true nature more clearly, so that they can free themselves from the delusion that they are worthless. If we know friends or family members who see themselves as worthless, powerless, and incapable of doing anything good or meaningful, and this negative self-image has taken away all their happiness, we have to try to help our friend, our sister or brother, our parent, spouse, or partner remove this inferiority complex. I read a book about group intelligence one time. I think it was called The Wisdom of Crowds or The Wisdom of Groups. But it talked about how a group of diverse individuals is more intelligent. Many individuals coming at a problem from many different angles, the group is more capable of solving problems. A group of specialists, surprisingly, they're kind of narrow, they're all narrow-viewed, they're all narrow-minded in the same way. And so certain kinds of problems they aren't able to tackle. So, while you may think that you aren't useful in a group, in a Sangha, in a Buddha gang, everyone is useful. Everyone is a part of the group's intelligence. Oh, there it is. We also have to practice so as not to add to others' feelings of worthlessness. In our daily life, when we become impatient or irritated, we might say things that are harsh, judgmental, and critical, especially in regard to our children. When they are under a great deal of pressure, working very hard to support and care for their family, parents frequently make the mistake of uttering unkind, punitive, or blaming words in moments of stress or irritation. Good morning. What's up, bro? The ground of a child's consciousness is still very young, still very fresh. So when we sow such negative seeds in our children, we are destroying their capacity to be happy. So parents and teachers, siblings and friends, all have to be very careful and practice mindfulness in order to avoid sowing negative seeds in the minds of our children, family, members, friends, and students. This is why, or one of the reasons why, right speech is so important. Gentle, loving speech is very important. When we utter harsh and punitive and critical words, we are sowing painful seeds in the minds of those around us, especially in children. I'm going to read one more section. It's called Healing the Past. I think it's relevant. It is relevant. Our presence here means the presence of all our ancestors. So we are just the fruit of a really old big tree. They are still alive in us. Every time we smile, all the generations of our ancestors, our children, and the generations to come, all of whom are within us, smile too. We practice not just for ourselves, but for everyone, and the stream of life continues. If you have made mistakes and caused your beloved to suffer, and if he or she is no longer alive, don't be frustrated. You can still heal the wound within you. The person whom you think has passed away is still alive in you. You can make him or her smile. Suppose while your grandma was alive, you said something out of forgetfulness that made her unhappy, and you still regret it. Sit down. Breathe in and out mindfully, which we're going to do in a second. Visualize your grandma sitting with you and say, "Grandma, I am sorry. I will never again say anything like that to you or anyone else. I love you." If you are sincere, focused, and utterly mindful, you will see her smiling in you, and the wound will be healed. Mistakes come from unskillfulness and forgetfulness, which are in the mind, because everything comes from the mind. Everything can be removed and transformed by the mind. That is the teaching of the Buddha. Although we think that the past is gone and the future is not yet here, if we look deeply, we see that reality is more than that. The past exists in the guise of the present because the present is made from the past. In this teaching, if we establish ourselves firmly in the present and touch the present moment deeply, we also touch the past and have the power to repair it. This is profound stuff. That is a wonderful teaching and practice. We don't have to bear our wounds forever. We are all unmindful at times. We have made mistakes in the past. It does not mean that we have to always carry that guilt without transforming it. Touch the present deeply, and you touch the past. Take care of the present, and you can repair the past. The practice of beginning anew is a practice of the mind. Once you realize what mistake you made in the past, you are determined never to do it again. Then the wound is healed. It is a wonderful practice. That's the reading. I like that reading. If you just joined, you might like to watch this video again afterward. I'll share it to the group and it will be available. You can listen to that nice little reading from the pocket Thich Nhat Hanh. Found this book at Value Village. Find lots of interesting books at thrift stores. Universe brings up interesting things randomly that seem to be very meaningful. Perfect. So now we sit in the present moment. Thank you. We anchor ourselves in the present moment with mindfulness of the breath. This practice is actually explained in detail in a sutta called the Anapanasati Sutta. I think that's how it is pronounced. The Buddha lays out the practice in detail in like 4 sections of 4 points. But here, I only speak of knowing the first section. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. I understand the quality of that breath. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. I directly experience the breath. What the Buddha outlines in detail is like a map of the process. If you follow your own breath closely enough over time, you will move through the territory that the Buddha describes. It's useful to have a map, but it's also, you gotta walk. You gotta traverse the territory yourself. You'll see the same things that the Buddha describes. But here we just breathe in and know that we are breathing in. Breathe out, know, breathing out. In and out. In and out. Sitting up straight can be helpful. Breathing in and out. But mindfulness of the breath can happen in any posture. Walking, sitting, standing, laying down, at home or at work. Breathing in and out. And in and out. And out. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Gaining intimacy with the breath. Intimacy with myself. intimacy with all the universe. This present moment is a wonderful moment. Thank you for joining me, for joining us, breathing in and breathing out. The mind wanders, it's okay. We just keep breathing in and out. Different perceptions call our attention. We look at it and touch it. It pops like a bubble. We just keep breathing in and out. Simple and profound. Good morning, Prakar. We're breathing in and out. And in and out. Curious about the breath. And out. running out of battery power. Thank you for joining me. If you just joined, you might like to watch this video again. This morning's reading was fun, about the inferiority notion. I'll share it to the group after I'm done. The video will be available into the future. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate all of you. It's a wonderful group, and I learn a lot from interacting with all of you. Bye-bye.